If you've spent any time in the crypto space, you've likely already encountered the horribly high Ethereum gas fees that you'll get charged for interacting with DeFi applications on the Ethereum blockchain.
Depending on the time of day and how busy the network is, these fees could run into the hundreds of dollars, and that is not what you want.
For beginners, or for those who don't already hold a large amount of crypto or capital, these fees can be quite prohibitive to participating in the network.
Fortunately, we now have new Layer 2 solutions which drastically help reduce the cost of these transactions.
In today's video, we'll be showing you how you can avoid these fees by moving your funds directly from a centralized exchange such as Binance or Crypto.com directly to Layer 2.
The great thing about Layer 2 is that many of the applications and exchanges you might use on the mainnet are now available on Layer 2, and more are being added daily.
I'm Steve.
I'm Cian.
And this is the Learnings Report, a show where we make investing accessible and understandable for everyone.
The main purpose of Layer 2 solutions is to reduce congestion and transaction fees.
And just a quick example to illustrate the difference in the total cost of these fees. If we go into Uniswap and try and do a swap on the mainnet versus Layer 2, we'll see that if we try and swap 0.14 worth of ETH, which is about $430 at the time of recording, to say a token like Uni, which is Uniswap's native token, you will see that this will cost us approximately $66 in gas fees. Or to contrast, if we switch to the Arbitrum network or the Layer 2 solution, which you can see indicated up here in the top right corner, swapping the same amount of ETH, i.e. 0.14's worth, to Uni tokens is only going to cost us this amount of ETH. And if we convert this to US dollars, you'll see that the total cost is only about $3.08, significantly less than the $60 we saw on the previous screen. And just for your own reference, when we did this test transaction, gas fees were at approximately 91 Gwei. And if you want to check what the gas fees are at the time that you go to do a transaction, you can use etherscan.io/gas tracker, and we'll leave a link to that in the description. Some of the current Layer 2 solutions include these, but by the time you watch this, there will likely be a whole lot more.
In this video, however, we're going to focus on Arbitrum 1, or simply Arbitrum, as this is one of the most talked about in this space.
Arbitrum works by using something called optimistic rollups. These are smart contracts that roll up transactions into bundles that use less computation and therefore less gas for fast and cheaper transactions.
We'll spare you the full technical explanation as to why Layer 2 solutions are cheaper, because frankly, we don't know, but that's all you really need to know. It'll be cheaper for you.
So there are two main ways to move your funds to Layer 2. The first and slightly more advanced way is to use some of the native bridges that are available on these platforms, such as Arbitrum's native bridge. However, there are a couple of downsides to doing it this way. The two main ones are you need to pay one gas fee at the regular price to move your funds into Layer 2, and then another one to move them back out of Layer 2. In addition, there is also a 7-day wait period when you are trying to bring your funds from Layer 2 back to the mainnet while the network verifies your transfer. For most of you watching, the more beginner-friendly and of course less expensive way of doing it is to use the integrated bridges that some of the leading centralized exchanges offer to do this transaction.
Basically, you can imagine it like trying to cross a river. There are several different bridges, each of which you have to pay a toll to get across, and the destination is Layer 2. To get your funds onto Arbitrum, i.e. Layer 2, you can either cross the Arbitrum official bridge, which will cost more both going in and out and will also take a bit more time, or you can go through the Binance or Crypto.com bridge, which will cost significantly less and take less time. Regardless of the bridge, you end up at the same place, i.e. Arbitrum or Layer 2, but there's just different ways of getting there.
The good news is, although the lingo is a little bit technical, the process is actually quite straightforward. You will, however, need a DeFi wallet set up in order for this to work. In this example, we'll be using Metamask. Metamask is free to use, it's easy to set up, and we're going to show you how in just a moment.
For those of you who already have a Metamask wallet, you can skip ahead past the next section, but do note that we still need to add the Arbitrum network to the Metamask wallet, so don't skip too far ahead.
If you want to interact with the Ethereum blockchain, you're going to need an Ethereum-based wallet. Metamask is one of the most well-known and popular Ethereum wallets, and it's really easy to set up. It also comes with a very handy browser extension. For this example, we'll be using the Chrome browser extension, but there are other browser extensions available. Once you've added the extension to Chrome, you're going to want to open Metamask and choose Create Wallet. First, you're going to create an account password. This next screen for your secret backup phrase is really important. You want to have a record of this somewhere, ideally offline, and there's nobody to call if you lose it. Seriously, this is important. Keep that secret recovery phrase safe. Metamask is then going to ask you to add your secret recovery phrase into this box, and you're going to simply add it in the order that you were originally given it in, and you can continue on. Again, remember, do not lose your secret recovery phrase. Lastly, we're going to have a quick look at our account details. Your wallet address is unique to you, and this is what you will need when depositing and withdrawing funds to and from your Metamask wallet. You can either use the QR code to identify your account, or you can copy and paste the wallet address directly to your clipboard, which is also very useful. You can also rename your wallet to something memorable, should you wish to. Okay, once that's all set up, we're then going to need to add the Arbitrum network to our Metamask wallet. There are a number of ways to do this. The simplest, in our opinion, is to go to chainlist.org. Then you're just going to search for Arbitrum. Arbitrum 1 is what we need here. You're going to click Connect Wallet. It's automatically going to pop up with your Metamask wallet. It'll ask you, do you want to connect? You're just going to hit Next. You're going to hit Connect. If it's the first time using Chainlist, you may need to do this twice. The first time to authenticate Chainlist with your wallet, and then again to reconnect the Arbitrum wallet. So if it doesn't work the first time, just click it again, click Add to Metamask. Then it'll ask you to add the Arbitrum network. You'll see the network URL and the chain ID. You're just going to click Approve. Then you're going to say Allow to switch your network. You'll click Switch. And then you'll see that your Ethereum mainnet has switched to Arbitrum 1, which is exactly what we want. Alternatively, you could go straight to a site such as Uniswap, click Launch App, and then when you click the drop down up here in the top right corner and click Arbitrum, Uniswap will automatically ask you, well, we already have it added to our wallet, but if we didn't, it would first pop up saying, do you want to add the network? You can click yes to do so. And then once you do have it, you can simply click Switch Network, and you'll be able to trade directly with Arbitrum. And you can check that you're connected by hitting your MetaMask extension wallet icon, and you'll see connected up here in the top left corner. On some screens, you might see that your MetaMask says just Arbitrum as opposed to Arbitrum 1. This is absolutely fine. And as long as your wallet is connected to the Arbitrum network and you've followed the steps correctly, you won't have any problems. Or lastly, you could do it manually. We'll leave a link to this page in the video description, but essentially all you're doing here is adding the network details manually. You click your MetaMask, you would then hit the drop down, click Add Network, and you would just add the correct network name, RPC URL, and chain ID here, and you can see on this page exactly how those will look. As mentioned though, using chainlist.org is a lot quicker and straightforward. But just if you want to do it the alternative ways, here's how.
Okay, so now let's move our funds to Arbitrum. Many of our viewers use Binance, so let's start there. If you don't have a Binance account already, we'll leave a referral link in the description, and this will give you a discount on trading fees if you do want to set one up.
So 3 quick caveats before we start. At the time of recording, if you're using Binance to bridge to Arbitrum, you can only deposit and withdraw ETH from your account. This isn't really an issue because when you're interacting with the Ethereum network on layer 2, you will still need to pay gas fees in ETH, but because you're on layer 2, these fees will still be lower, but of course you'll still need some ETH in your wallet to cover the cost. And even if Binance do start offering support for other tokens to bridge to Arbitrum, you're still going to need ETH anyway, so you may as well start there. The second caveat, Binance at the time of recording do have a minimum withdrawal amount if you are using their Arbitrum bridge. This withdrawal minimum is currently 0.1 ETH or approximately $300 US, which to be perfectly honest is a lot higher than we'd expect. If this is an issue for you, it is worth noting that Crypto.com's minimum is only 0.002 ETH, which is about $6.50 at time of recording. And again, similar to Binance, if you don't already have a Crypto.com account, we'll leave a referral link in the description. At the time of recording, the referral bonus is $25. This is usually subject to change, but the referral link will offer something off, so feel free to use that if you want. And the third caveat is that there is still a withdrawal fee for moving your funds from Binance to Arbitrum. I think technically this is actually just a network fee as opposed to a withdrawal fee, but you still have to pay it. This withdrawal fee is currently 0.003 ETH or about $10 per withdrawal. But again, to contrast, Crypto.com's withdrawal fee is only 0.001 ETH or $3.50. Okay, so let's move those funds. Obviously, you're first going to need some ETH on Binance if you're going to transfer it, so purchase some if you don't have some already. Most of you will be very familiar with this process, but you're going to need to fund your Binance account with some money in order to buy your ETH. You can watch our video on how to deposit funds to Binance without the withdrawal fee by clicking the video up in the top right corner. But once you have money on your Binance account, you're going to come up to click Trade, click Convert. Then you're going to swap whatever currency you've added to your account. In our case, it's going to be BUSD, and we're going to switch that to ETH. You might recall from earlier, the minimum that you can deposit from Binance to Arbitrum is 0.1 ETH, but again, there are a couple of fees that we're going to need to pay, so you might want to put in a little bit more than that to make sure you have enough ETH to cover any transaction fees. For our sake, we're going to put in 0.15 worth of ETH, which is about $452 US at the time of recording. Once you've purchased your ETH, you're going to come into your spot wallet. Hit wallet, hit fiat and spot, scroll down to your Ethereum holdings and click withdraw. So next we're going to jump back over to MetaMask and grab our wallet address. You just click the browser extension icon, and then you can just simply copy your address directly to your clipboard by clicking on your account name. Do note that although we're still on the Ethereum mainnet, it is good practice to start switching to the Arbitrum network just so that you can ensure that you're on the correct network when doing these transfers. However, the actual wallet address is going to be the same regardless of which network you're on, because the Ethereum wallet is still your Ethereum wallet. So the address is the same, but you do need to switch networks in order to see the funds that are on each network. It's not important for this exact moment of the video, but it will be at a later stage. Once that's copied, come back to Binance. If Ethereum is not already selected, you can select it from the drop-down. You're then going to directly copy the address from your clipboard into this box here. It's always worth checking the first 4 digits and the 4 last digits against your wallet to ensure that it's all copied correctly. Then in the network dropdown, you're going to select Arbitrum 1. Remember, it will say ETH and Ethereum further down, but again, we're not withdrawing to the mainnet, we want to withdraw to layer 2, i.e. Arbitrum. You'll also see that the current fee is 0.003 ETH, which is $9.03, and the arrival time is approximately 5 minutes. In withdrawal amount, you can add in exactly how much ETH you wish to withdraw. In our case, it's going to be the max amount that we want to withdraw, but do remember that the minimum is 0.1 ETH. We're going to withdraw 0.15 worth of ETH, and you'll see here that the amount we're actually going to receive is 0.147 because that includes the network fee. Double check everything's correct, and then hit withdraw. You might get hit with the risk warning. It's basically just telling you not to withdraw these funds to a wallet address that's not your own, etc., etc. So just click I fully understand and click confirm. You'll then get a preview of your withdrawal one more time. Again, ensure the address is correct and you're on the correct network, and then click continue. You'll then be asked to do your 2-factor authentication. This is likely going to be at least your email and a phone code, and for some you may need to use an authenticator app such as Google Authenticator. So again, just add in these codes and click submit. You'll see your withdrawal request submitted is successful. You'll say awaiting approval. It says it takes approximately 12 hours. I've never had it take longer than a few minutes, so we're just going to click complete and we'll come back to this in a second. And that's it. Literally 2 minutes later, the funds have arrived and you're good to go. And just another quick reminder, unless you're on the Arbitrum 1 network, the funds that you've just transferred won't be visible. You'll see here that we have 0.147 ETH or Arbitrum ETH. Again, this is just a figure. It's still the Ethereum that you've just sent, so no need to worry. But if you switch to your actual Ethereum wallet, it will still say 0. So don't get a fright, double check that you're not on the mainnet, switch to Arbitrum, and you'll see your balances there. So once you've actually got your funds into your Arbitrum wallet, you can now have some fun. Head over to Uniswap, hit launch app, come up here to the top right corner and switch from the Ethereum network to Arbitrum. You'll be asked, do you want to switch to this network? You'll click yes or switch network. You'll then see that you're in Arbitrum. Your balance in ETH should appear up here in the top right corner. And again, you can then now select any of the tokens that you wish to trade in on layer 2. Although there are a ton of tokens available on layer 2, there still aren't as many as on the mainnet, because on the mainnet you literally have thousands and thousands of crypto tokens. But again, it's early days, and as all these DeFi applications port to layer 2, we'll likely see a ton of these transfer over. But that being said, some of the big names have already ported over to layer 2, so you will still be able to find some very interesting tokens to trade with on layer 2. And of course, the best part of this is that you're going to be paying drastically less gas fees for any of the token swaps that you do carry out. It is worth mentioning that up until quite recently, Binance had actually suspended withdrawals to the Arbitrum network. So it is worth keeping in mind that they might do this again. If this does happen, there is another way of moving your funds from Binance to Layer 2, and that's by using Layer Swap. We won't go into Layer Swap completely in this video, but we will leave a link in the description to a guide that'll show you how to do it, and we might do a video on it at a later date. You probably don't need to worry about it for now, but again, just wanted to flag it.
It's also really important to flag that these suspensions can also occur when you want to move your funds from Arbitrum back to Binance. So let's say, for example, that we wanted to move our funds from Arbitrum back to our Binance exchange. You'd go to Fiat and Spot, you'd go to Deposit, you'd make sure you're on Deposit Crypto, you'd click Ethereum, and of course, you'd want to choose Arbitrum 1 as your deposit network, but in typical Binance fashion, we can see here that Arbitrum deposits are suspended for Binance at the time of recording. So obviously in this situation, it's easy to move your funds from Binance to Arbitrum, but if you then want to reverse that transaction and move your funds from Arbitrum back to Binance, you can't, at the time of recording, do it. There are a couple of alternatives. One, just wait until Binance removes the suspension. Two, you can use the Crypto.com integration that we're about to explain, and all that would mean is you move your funds from Binance to Arbitrum, do your trades as per normal, but then if you want to move your funds back to an exchange, you would then, instead of moving them directly back to Binance, you would actually have to move them to Crypto.com instead. But of course that would mean that you would need the Crypto.com app and also have an account, which of course you may not want to have. But it's an alternative option while you wait for Binance to get their shit together. The third option is to use something called Hop Exchange. Now, we won't go into detail exactly what Hop Exchange is, but all you need to care about is that it's a way to move your funds from Layer 1 to Layer 2 and vice versa from Layer 2 back to Layer 1. So say, for example, you're in the situation where you've moved your funds from Binance to Arbitrum and now you want to move them back to Binance, but the deposit method is currently suspended. You can use Hop Exchange, albeit paying a fee, to move your funds from Layer 2 back to Layer 1. What you're going to do is click Use Hop. It'll then open the exchange itself. You're going to make sure that your Metamask wallet is connected and you are on the Arbitrum network. You'll then want to select from Arbitrum and type in the amount of ETH you want to withdraw to the mainnet, i.e. to move from Layer 2 to Layer 1. You'll then see how much ETH you're going to receive for doing this, and you'll also see the fees that you're going to pay as a result. If we convert this fee, we'll see that at the time of recording, the cost is $25.80. Of course, this fee isn't desirable, and if we could avoid it, we would, but it is a backup option should you drastically want to get your funds back to Binance for whatever reason in a short amount of time. This fee will fluctuate based on the congestion of the network and how busy it is, but it will still cost you less doing it this way than if you were to do it using the native bridges, because one, you would need to pay a full priced gas fee to move from Layer 2 back to Layer 1, as we mentioned earlier in the video, but you would also need to wait the 7-day wait period to do that. By using Hop Exchange, yes, you do pay a higher fee, well, relatively higher fee than if you were to do it with Binance directly, but you get to skip that waiting period and the fee is less than it would be if you used the native bridge. And then for the last step of this process, you're going to come back to Binance, you're going to make sure you're on Deposit Crypto, you're going to make sure to select Ethereum from the first drop down, and then on network, and this is super important, remember that we are now on the mainnet in terms of where our funds are. So you don't want to select Arbitrum here, you want to select Ethereum because we've already moved our funds from Layer 2 back to the mainnet using the Hop Exchange. So select Ethereum here. You're going to then copy your Binance wallet address. You're going to click Metamask. You're going to switch to Ethereum mainnet from Arbitrum if you haven't already done so. You're then going to click Send. You're going to copy and paste your wallet address or your Binance wallet address into this field here. You're then going to enter the amount of ETH you wish to withdraw. For our case, we're just going to use 0.02. You'll click Next. you get a preview of the gas fee that you're going to be charged to move your funds from your Metamask wallet back to Binance, and then you'll see the total amount including your fee that you're moving to Binance here. Once you're happy with everything, you're going to click confirm. I'm not going to do it for the example, but once you've done that, your funds will move back to Binance in a couple of moments.
Regardless if you want to use Binance or LayerSwap, you of course also have the alternative to use an exchange such as Crypto.com, so we're also going to show you how to withdraw to Arbitrum via Crypto.com. The added benefit of using Crypto.com is of course, as we mentioned at the top of the video, a lower withdrawal minimum and slightly cheaper withdrawal fees. The process is also very straightforward and we're going to quickly show you now. Just one final thing to keep in mind before moving those funds is that if you were going to add your Arbitrum wallet to Crypto.com, you will need to whitelist the wallet address. All this means is that once you actually add Arbitrum to your Crypto.com account, you'll need to wait, or at least I did, 1 day before you can actually send the funds from Crypto.com to the wallet. I assume this is a security issue, so just keep that in mind. This should just be a once-off thing, so once you've done it, subsequent transactions will be instant. So I've already done this, but what you're going to need to do is open your Crypto.com app, find your ETH holdings. You're then going to hit transfer, withdraw, external wallet. I've already added the Arbitrum wallet to my whitelist, but if you haven't already, you're going to hit the plus icon, you're going to hit wallet address, you're going to make sure to select Arbitrum as a network, you're going to add your Ethereum address like we did earlier by going to Metamask, copying it and pasting it here. You can name your wallet whatever you like. In this case, I just named it Arbitrum. You're going to click continue. You might need to do two-factor authentication as like we did with Binance, and then you should be good to go. Remember, you might have to do a 1-day whitelist and then be able to deposit it the following business day. So once you've added Arbitrum's network, you're just going to hit withdraw ETH. You're going to type in the amount of ETH you wish to withdraw. In this case, I'm just going to withdraw 50 euros worth. You'll get a confirm withdrawal screen. You'll then need to do your two-factor authentication via mobile and then the authenticator app, at least in my case. And then once you confirm those, you'll see that your transaction has been submitted. And again, like with Binance, it'll just take a couple of minutes and then should be visible in your wallet.
In addition to Binance and Crypto.com, FTX also already has a native integration with Arbitrum, and many other exchanges are likely to follow suit and probably already will have by the time you've watched this video. Surprisingly, at the time of recording, Coinbase haven't developed a Layer 2 integration, but almost certainly will very soon.
Another thing to remember is that as Layer 2 solutions are relatively new, many DeFi platforms are still migrating to Layer 2. So some of the tokens that you might be familiar with, say for example on Uniswap, are not going to be available when you're actually transacting on Layer 2.
More are getting added every day, so you're ahead of the game. Speaking of gas fees, our channel does not actually charge any, but if you do want to show some appreciation, make sure to hit that like button.
If you're enjoying the videos, make sure to subscribe. And as always, any questions or comments, hit us up below. And otherwise, see you in the next one.